Welcome to Kilroy's Outlaws and Legends Behind the Music with your host, multi-award-winning music producer, Eddie Kilroy. And now, here's your host, Eddie Kilroy.
Hey, how in the world are you? Welcome to another edition of Kilroy's Outlaws, Legends, and Behind the Music. Boy, is that going to be a good one today. We got a lot to talk about and a lot to do. But first of all, and I won't tarry long on this, but I have to thank our wonderful sponsor, Total Feed. You know, you can talk about something if you really believe in it. And I really believe in all the products at Total Feed. Matter of fact, you can go to their website, totalfeed.com. We'll get it. Trust me, I've done that before, just to brush up and see what they had. Total Equine, Liz and I have been on it. We talked about it on the last episode for 15 to 16 years, and our horses have done wonderful, and they're living good, and some of them are getting agey, but they don't look like it. It's because of that feed. But there's a whole lot of feed made by Total Feed. A lot of species are on that. They make Total Bovine, okay? That's for cattle, of course. But then they make Total Bull. And I am a fan of that feed because I'm a fan of the PBR. All those bucking bulls out there are just magnificent. And many of them are on Total Bull. Develops muscles, the fat falls off of them. And the owners and contractors, that's very important. Those bulls are like, believe it or not, like their children. They take care of them. They swim them. They do all kind of stuff to help develop the muscles. And Total Bull is a big part of that process. Total Goat, if you got goats, you need goats, okay? Total Goat is great feed. I've seen that also work on goats. And Total Canine, which brings to mind, quickly I'll tell you, Liz and I have 2 new additions to our family, and they are special. They're 2 mini Aussies, and right now I think they're 11 weeks old. And as soon as they get the little teeth growing in where they can chew good, they're going to be on Total Canine, believe me. But this show today, I'm going to be talking about a wonderful place in Nashville, Tennessee. You know, I was in Nashville for 4 decades, and the Country Music Hall of Fame is an incredible place. It is absolutely a must-see for any country music fan that is going to Nashville, Tennessee. Go to the Country Music Hall of Fame. But you know, I've got a problem with it. It's put together by the Country Music Association, which is a great bunch of people. I mean, it is absolutely a wonderful association that works hard to further country music and bring it into other genres of music, of radio or television or whatever. But they're missing the boat on the Hall of Fame. And I'm not taking anything away from anyone that's in there, trust me. But there are people in there that maybe and this is just my opinion, the people want to go see things, souvenirs, exhibits on country music stars. I'm talking about the singers, the people that go put on great shows. They want to see the guitar they played when they saw them in Timbuktu or wherever they were appearing. And they want to see maybe their clothes they wore, a little story about their records and everything. But then on the other hand, there's some folks in there in the Country Music Hall of Fame that the fans don't even know. They've never even heard of them. They're like executives with a record company. You know, it's like myself speaking personally, being president of 2 record labels. I had a lot of success, more than I deserved, but I don't belong in the Country Music Hall of Fame because what guy out there that's a country music fan or gal reads the back of an album and says, "Oh, Eddie Kilroy, I'm such a fan of Kilroy." They don't care about record producers. Very few people do. So why did they put record producers in the Country Music Hall of Fame and yet ignore some guys and gals that should be in there? Right off at the top, T.G. Shepherd. T.G. Shepherd has had a flock of #1 records. Great entertainer, has made a big mark in country music. He's not in the Country Music Hall of Fame, for God's sake. Mickey Gilley. Oh, my Lord. Gilley not only had all those 22, 23 number one records, but he did so much for country music. The Urban Cowboy movie, it broke up the whole new wall and brought country music into New York, into cities where people were ashamed to listen to country music. And the Urban Cowboy had them wearing cowboy hats. Granted, they had a dumb thing on it, like a chicken head or whatever, but they were cowboy hats. And they became fans of country music. Gilly had so much to do with that. I mean, everything. Why isn't Mickey Gilly in the Country Music Hall of Fame? Why isn't T.G. Shepherd in the Country Music Hall of Fame? There's a newer act, newer to me, Kenny Chesney. Kenny Chesney he's had 30 number one records. Not necessarily my style of country music, but hey, the guy's great. He made his mark. He's not there. Another bunch that has done well, the Bellamy Brothers. I'd love to see the Bellamy Brothers in there. Tim McGraw, he's had a lot of hits. Yeah, he's not in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Yet there are so many executives just loaded with people that really never appeared before an audience, and the audience don't know them. So I've got a problem with that. I don't mind telling you. I think that singers, artists, should be in the Country Music Hall of Fame if they're worthy, but not people that are executives, for goodness sakes. You know, Owen Bradley, I had a whole show on Owen Bradley. He was the pioneer. He was the forerunner of country music in Nashville, and really is responsible for 16th Avenue being referred to as Music Row, because he built the first studio there. And he became head of Decca Records, and he did a lot. But he was also a very accomplished musician. Great pianist. I mean, he played in orchestras. He did everything. He should be in the Country Music Hall of Fame, and he is. But, now wait a minute. Somebody's going to get mad at me. Jerry Bradley, his son, really, really good friend of mine. He was running RCA Records there. Was he a producer? Yeah, he produced some records. Was he a singer? No. Was he a writer? No. Did he play guitar? No. But he's in the Country Music Hall of Fame. His dad, Owen Bradley, should be there. But the Bradley name worked in Nashville. Harold Bradley, a rhythm guitar player, acoustic player that played on a lot of records, but nobody knows his name. And the fans come there to see the stars. They want to see the stars that are in the Hall of Fame, not people they don't know. Like, for instance, if Joe Blow, Eddie Kilroy, or somebody's in the Hall of Fame, and they don't know them, they've already paid money to get in to see somebody they don't know, okay? Now, granted that they have wonderful exhibits there by the country stars that they have, but it's just so combined, it's so political. Mickey Gilly would never go in there because he never was in the clique. He never moved to Nashville. He was not one of the good old boys. He was just Gilly, but he had all those number one records, Urban Cowboy that I spoke of. He did a lot for country music, and he deserves to be there. But I'm saying all that to say, go to the Hall of Fame. I'm not downing them at all. I am questioning the committees they appoint to decide who goes into the Hall of Fame. Now, this committee is anonymous, and I know it should be, because if they were known, they would be lobbied by everybody, people, all the Gilly fans, all the T.G. Shepherd fans, all the fans would be saying, oh, I want so-and-so in there, I want so-and-so in there. But that also should change time to time. They should have different groups voting on who goes into the Hall of Fame. And, you know, there's people alive that should be in there. Now, we lost Mickey Gilly a few years ago. Is that a reason to put him in there? Not necessarily so. The reason Gilly should be in there is all of the hits he did and what he did for country music. All right, T.G. Shepherd. T.G. Shepherd's still living. What do you have to do? I hope you don't have to die to get into the Country Music Hall of Fame. No, T.G. Shepherd should be there. Oh, I'm ranting, I know. But I'm ranting for people that I respect, and I think they deserve their due. I think they should be in the Country Music Hall of Fame. And I can keep rattling off. There's more than T.G. Shepherd out there. There's more than Mickey Gilly out there. There's a lot of guys and gals out there that should be in the Country Music Hall of Fame. do not put record executives, president of record companies. All right, for instance, Jerry Bradley. I was speaking to Jerry, a good friend of mine. He's gone now. I miss him very much. We talked often on the phone. I did a lot of records for RCA when he was running them, when he was running that company. And it was, but, he's gone. They got him in the Hall of Fame. But people are not going in the Hall of Fame to see a plaque of Jerry Bradley. It would be like, oh, Kilroy signed and broke Mickey Gilley, so he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. No, I do not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And I want to tell you something. I promise you, I am telling you the very truth. If they did, and they won't, but if by chance they called me and said, we're going to put you in the Hall of Fame, the Country Music Hall of Fame, I promise you I would tell them, I'd rather you put T.G. Shepherd in, or Mickey Gilley, or some people that people pay money to go see, because they're going to pay money to get in the Hall of Fame and see them. So give them their money's worth when they get there. I told you I was going to rant on the Country Music Hall of Fame, but yeah, and I'm not really ranting on them. I'm just saying I would like for them to see more people put in there that the general public have seen live in person. They want to see something about them again. And those are people that I mentioned, like Gilley and T.G. Shepherd and Tim McGraw. There's, Kenny Chesney. Kenny Chesney, what Kenny have? 29, 30 number one records. He's still alive. And for God's sake, are you going to let him die? You're going to let T.G. Shepherd die before you put him in the Hall of Fame? Put him in now where they can enjoy it, okay? Mickey Gilley's dead, okay? That should open your eyes and say, oh, gosh, I wish we had put Gilley in there before he died. He would really, really have been thrilled to do that. So many had to die to get into the Hall of Fame. Give it to the living. It is just incredible. Is Alan Jackson in the Hall of Fame? I don't know. He should be. Check that out. I'll have somebody check it out. I'll have my sources check it out. And right now I want to get back into what has brung us here, as the country folks say. And what has brung us here today is Total Feed. And I was talking about Total Feed when we opened the show. I'll be talking about the feed as we go out and close the show up. We will be on Total Feed at our place forever. There's Total People, too. If you're not feeling too good, don't believe those ads on TV about those people out there digging in the garden, taking these 3 pills, feeling like $1 million in 30 minutes. No. Total People, that's what you want from Total Feeds. In the meantime, this is Kilroy saying God bless each and every one of you. And don't forget to email us at Kilroy's Outlaws and Legends at yahoo.com. Let me give it to you again. Kilroy, without an S, at Outlaws and Legends at yahoo.com. All right? And also subscribe. Yep. And you're going to be looking at the screen. We'll give that address to you in just a bit. And one more thing. Let me urge you to go to Total Feed's website. Read about the product. Don't take my word for it. Read about some of the testimonials from great people, but I know you'll respect a lot of the people that are giving testimonials that are on Total Feed, whether it be Total Bovine, Total Equine, Total Goat, Total People. It is all good. Dr. Harry Anderson has done marvels. I'm going to mention something about him on our next episode of Kilroy's Outlaws and Legends and Behind the Music. Right now, we're going to saddle up and drift. God bless each and every one of you, and thank you for being here.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Kilroy's Outlaws and Legends Behind the Music. If you have any thoughts or questions about the content, email them. Kilroy Outlaws and Legends, all one word, at yahoo.com. That's Kilroy, no S, Outlaws and Legends, all one word, at yahoo.com. And don't forget to subscribe. Third-party use of any part of this podcast without the expressed consent of Eddie Kilroy is prohibited. The Kilroy's Outlaws and Legends Behind the Music podcast is a production of Eddie Kilroy.